Hi, and welcome to Trig Apps Day 2. Today we're going to talk about the law of cosines. The law of cosines is used to find the third side of a triangle given two sides and the included angle. Okay? And to find the cosine of an angle in a triangle when given all three sides, and to find an angle of a triangle when given all three sides. The formula, which is given to you on your pink sheet, is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. And we can rearrange it depending on what angles we're using. But if I was looking for side b, I would do b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine b. And if I was looking for c, I would do c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. With the law of cosines formula, you always start and end with the same letter. So we're always starting and ending with either a for the side and a with the angle, or b or c. So example 1, set up a formula to solve for q in triangle PQR. So if I'm looking for q, I would say q squared equals r squared plus p squared minus 2rp cosine q. The r and p don't matter the order that you do, as long as q is where you start and stop. So for number 2, in triangle QRS, S is equal to 5, R is equal to 7, and Q is equal to 96 degrees. Find Q. Well, I like to draw a picture just so I can see what we're doing. So QRS. S is 5, R is 7, Q is 96 degrees. And we're trying to find side Q. So first thing you do is sketch a picture. Second thing is to write a formula for your specific values. Well, I'm looking for Q, so it's going to be Q squared equals R squared plus S squared minus 2RS cosine Q. Now I just substitute in. R is 7, so 7 squared plus S is 5 squared minus 2 times 5 times 7 times the cosine. The angle is 96 degrees. So I have 49 plus 25 minus 70 times the cosine of 96. The thing that people do wrong is their order of operations here. So we need to be careful. 49 plus 25 is 74 minus 70 cosine 96 degrees. And this is where people make their mistake, is they want to do 74 minus 70 and get 4 cosine times 96 times cosine 96. That doesn't work. You have to multiply 70 times the cosine 96 before you can actually subtract it from 74. So when you get to this step, put it in your calculator just like it looks, and we'll get, this is still q squared, remember, 81.31270. Well, to get q, we just take the square root of both sides. So q is equal to the nearest integer would be 9. So it's 9. We would have plus or minus 9, but since we're dealing with sides, we won't have a negative distance, so therefore we just keep the plus, and we don't have to worry about the minus. All right, next page. In triangle ABC, A is 5, B is 7, C is 8. A, find the cosine of C. B, find the measure of angle C to the nearest degree. Well, if I'm looking for the cosine of C, fact is I'm starting and ending with C. I'm just going to draw my little triangle. A is 5, B is 7, C is 8. And I'm looking for that angle. So I have to look at the angle and the side across from it, and that's where I'm going to start. So C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. So 8 squared equals 5 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 5 times 7 times the cosine of c. So 64 equals 25 plus 49 minus 70 times the cosine of c. So 64 equals 74 minus 70 times the cosine of c. Again, I have to solve for the cosine of c, so I need to subtract the 74 from both sides. So I have negative 10 equals, don't forget your negative. This is another thing people tend to do, is drop their negatives. And you cannot do that. And divide by negative 70. So 1/7 is equal to the cosine of c. So on your calculator, we just do, for part B, is inverse cosine of 1/7. And when we do that, we'll get to the nearest degree, 82 degrees. So angle C is equal to 82 degrees. All right, one more. Find the shorter diagonal to the nearest tenth of a parallelogram if two adjacent sides are 6 and 10 and one of the angles is 120. Well, here's my parallelogram. I have a side 6 and I have a side 10. And the shorter diagonal is going to be this one here. But this angle here has to be 120, which means this angle here is 60. So we're looking for the length of the diagonal. So we will do x squared equals 6 squared plus 10 squared minus 6 times 10 times the cosine of 60. So x squared is equal to 36 plus 100 minus 60 times the cosine of 60. So x squared is equal to 136 minus 60 times the cosine of 60. The cosine of 60 is 1/2. So x squared is equal to 136 minus, oh, I forgot my 2 up here. Yikes. This should be 2. This should be 120. My bad. Sorry about that. So it would be 120 times 1/2, which would then be 60. Got ahead of myself. Sorry. So x squared is equal to 76. And then you just need to take the square root of both sides. So x to the nearest tenth would be 8.7. All right, that is it for the law of cosines. It's just a matter of plugging in the right numbers to the right spots and then following the order of operations. Remember, you are always starting and ending with the same letter, and you're either finding that angle or you're finding that side that you're starting or ending with.